If you have a good base, it really is not difficult to achieve a good pronunciation in Spanish. But how to achieve a good base? And the answer is to learn the alphabet and all the sounds that you must make with it in Spanish. If you watch this video until the end, I promise you this. You will understand everything you need and you don't need to care about to achieve a perfect pronunciation in Spanish. Hi, my name is Pablo and this is Click Spanish. The first thing you need to know is that Spanish spelling is an exact reflection of the pronunciation of the language. This means that if you understand the rules for pronunciation, you can read anything perfectly well in Spanish, even if you don't understand what you're reading. Most of the letters in Spanish make similar sounds to the letters in English. So, if you can read in English, you can basically already read in Spanish too. But there are some little things that are different. In this video, I'm going to show you those little differences reviewing the alphabet. And then I'm going to stop specifically in the letters that make more than one sound and that usually cause a lot of trouble for the people who want to learn Spanish. Without further ado, let's get started. The alphabet in Spanish is called el alfabeto or el abecedario. Both titles are correct. Just like in English, the first letter of el alfabeto is the vowel A. I always recommend to go deeper on the vowels, so take your time and watch my video titled How to Say the Vowels in Spanish. You can watch it up here. A de avión. B de barco. C. The consonant C makes more than one sound in Spanish. When it goes before the vowels A, O, U, it makes the sound of the K in English. C de casa. C de color. C de cuchillo. But when it goes before the vowels E, I, it makes a different sound. C de centavo. C de cinco. D de dado. E de elefante. F de foca. G. The consonant G is another letter that makes more than one sound in Spanish. When it goes before the vowels A, O, U, it makes the sound of the G in English in words like game. But when it goes before the consonants E, I, it makes the sound of the H in English in words like hat. G de gato. G de gobierno. G de gusto. But there is also G de generoso. G de gitano. H de historia. The consonant H is completely silent in Spanish. It doesn't make any sound. H de hombre. H de hospital. H de hacienda. However, when you combine the consonant C with the consonant H, it makes a new sound. And this sound is called che. The che is not a consonant, it's just a sound. And it goes in words like chocolate, champaña, chiste, I de isla, J de juguete. The consonant J makes the sound of the H in English in words like hot, ojos, mujer, jugo. K de kilogramo. L de limón. Something to keep in mind about the L in Spanish is that when you have two L's in a row in a word, they make a new sound. This sound is called elle or double L. One more time, this is not a new letter. The L or elle is not a new consonant, but a new sound. And this sound is just like the Y in English in words like beyond. In Spanish, the double L is used in words like caballo, lluvia, llave. M, M de mamá. N de nariz. Ñ. The ñ is the only letter in Spanish that doesn't exist in English, and it sounds like the consonants N, Y in the word cañón. In Spanish, the ñ is used in words like señor, señora, mañana, España. O de oso. P de papá. Q. The Q makes the sound of the K in English, and you only find it in the combinations que, ki. The vowel U doesn't make any sound in this combination. Q de queso. Q de quizá. Ere. To understand the pronunciation of the consonant ere in Spanish, you must keep in mind three things. Most of the time, you must pronounce the ere in Spanish with a single tongue flap, like the double D in the word ladder. Ladder. R. That's the sound. You can experience this sound in Spanish in words like caro, barato, pero, pera. Number 2. When you have two eres together in Spanish, you must make the sound of the rolling R. Once again, this is not a new letter. This is called R, and the R is a sound, not a consonant. You can find the R in words like perro, carro, horrible. And number 3, when you have a single ere at the beginning of a word, and when you have a single ere after the consonants L, N, S in Spanish, you must do the sound of the rolling R. You can experience this sound in words like rosa, río. See? The R is at the beginning of a word, and then you must do the sound of the rolling R. This even happens in personal names like Ramón, Rafael, Ricardo. And then you have words like alrededor, enredo, Israel. See? In these words, the single R is after the consonants L, N, S, and then you must do the sound of the rolling R. And by the way, there is one more thing you must keep in mind when you talk about the R in Spanish, the ere. A lot of people have a lot of troubles trying to make the sound of the rolling R in Spanish. You know that sound, the R, that sound. But the truth is that in real life, it's not a big deal if you cannot make the sound. If you say rosa instead of rosa, most native Spanish speakers will understand what you're trying to say. So, if you can do the sound of the rolling R, good for you. But if you can't, don't worry so much about it because it's not a big deal. S. S de sol. T. T de tomate. U. U de uva. If you had been following this channel, you know that the vowel U is the only one that sometimes doesn't make any sound in Spanish. But if you need to know more about it, you can watch my video titled The U Rule. I left you the link up here. V. V de vaca. This letter is also called B pequeña or B chica. That means small b in Spanish. Therefore, the letter B is also known as B alta or B grande. And something to keep in mind is that these two letters, the B and the V, have the same sound in Spanish. Both letters must be pronounced using both lips. The next letter is called W, W, or W. It depends on the country. This letter is almost never used in Spanish, and you will find it only in foreign words like Washington or waterpolo. X. X de xilófono. This is another letter that is not used so often in Spanish. Most of the time, it makes the same sound than the X in English. Experto, examen, extra. But in some words that comes from Mexico, it makes the sound of the J. México, Oaxaca. México in Spanish is México, no Mexico. Y. Y. When this letter is completely by itself, it makes the sound of the vowel E in Spanish, and it means the word and in English. El perro y el gato. El niño y su mascota. Las manzanas y las peras. When the Y is at the end of a word, it also makes the sound of the vowel E in Spanish. Voy, caray. But when the Y is at the beginning or in the middle of a word, it must be pronounced like the Y in English in the word beyond. Papaya. Ayer. Yo. Z. Z de zanahoria. And with the Z, we finish el alfabeto. One more thing you need to know is that sometimes in Spanish we use these little symbols over the vowels. If you see a vowel like this, that means that you must stress the word in that vowel. The meaning of a word can change according to how you stress the vowel. For example, these two words. Género, genero. Género means gender. Genero means I generate. I know this can be confusing, but please don't worry too much about it right now. I totally understand that there's a lot to take in this video, but if you watch this lesson over and over and over again, you will be able to memorize all these rules really fast. And then you will be able to read perfectly well in Spanish. If you found this video useful, give it a like and share it with a friend, and follow me for more lessons to learn Spanish.